UFC France finishes up. Good card. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. A lot to talk about. A lot of different outcomes. A lot of different possible fights. But yeah, just getting into it. BSD loses versus Moicano. Moicano looked amazing. BSD's a phenomenal grappler, and Moicano made him look like he's never grappled a day in his life. Insane to do that against BSD. Moicano, honestly, I've picked against him in like every one of his fights. I think that he beats Justin Gaethje. I think that he beats Dustin Poirier. I think that he beats Paddy Pimblett with ease. He's going to end the hype train. He beats Gamrot. He beats Fiziev. The only person I pick against Moicano from now on is Islam or Arman. That's it. Never doubting this man again. He is on an absolute tear. I mean, the second round I actually gave to BSD. I am still like salty about the fight, but I'm a big BSD fan. But Moicano, he just looked like after the first, he was like, okay, the doctor's going to stop it eventually. Just got to keep my jab going. The doctor's going to stop it eventually. Let's just not get finished. Smart, high IQ move. And it's crazy, all of this happened. BSD, his career, his hype, everything is over. Not because he lost to Poirier. It was kind of over then, but like, who cares? DP, he looked great in his last fight. BSD was winning that fight versus DP. That's not really a fight or the type of performance where you lose your hype. But all of this happened because Jalen Turner has single-digit IQ, and he didn't finish Moicano when he had the chance. Tin Man Turner, no heart, pathetic fighter, and now he caused one of my favorite fighters had to have his career over. He's taken so much damage, but yeah, good main event, kind of. Imavov, Ailin, competitive fight. Imavov, his gas tank scares me. I respect that he was going for the finish on the ground, unlike Ailin. But I don't know who he should fight next. He called for the title, but like, who is he? Realistically, they're not going to give him a title shot. There's too big of a logjam. He should fight. If Whitaker loses versus Khamzat, Whitaker, Imavov. Even if Khamzat wins, Khamzat versus Imavov, in my opinion. Then you do Adesanya versus Baralho. Marvin Vettori, Brendan Allen, they hate each other. There's beef. That makes perfect sense. Allen could have won the fight. It's just he went for the same takedown like 50 times. And he's good on the feet. Allen, he's chinny, but he's good on the feet. But yeah, just a bad game plan. Imavov looked good though. He looked good. This fight, pretty controversial. So at first, I agreed with everyone. I was saying this was a robbery. Though you could argue 30-27 for Brito. I watched back the first round. And Brito did nothing. The only thing that Brito did in the first is he landed a good right hand that stunned Gomis, but watching it back, he wasn't as hurt as I thought he was. It didn't even drop him. And then, yes, he ended the round with a submission. But I get the idea where it's like, oh, well, if the round doesn't end, he wins the fight and chokes him out, so you have to give him the round. But it's a guillotine, and I get guillotines work, but it only works at a certain level. And I don't know if this is a level where guillotines would work. They worked other times in the card, but I don't know about this one. I actually think it was closer than people make it out to be. Gomis looked good. I thought Brito was easily going to win. Gomis looked tough. Arguably won the third. Arguably won the first. Lost the second, but still a good fight. And karma for Brito. For, the little handshake, trying to pull his shoulder. Also, he held in the guillotine for like 2-3 more seconds after, which was so dirty. Good to see him lose, even though I really like his fight style, and I don't like Gomis's fight style. So it's kind of, it's a bittersweet ending. Okay, this fight. Bryan Battle owns France. Crazy post-fight speech, goes full Colby Covington. And Jousset looked good. It was like a mirror matchup. The only difference is Bryan Battle has knockout power. And it showed. It just was like a genetic difference. Both looked pretty even on the feet in the grappling, but in the second battle just pushed the pace, and he was able to get the finish, kind of an early-ish finish, even though I don't think it was early because Jousset wasn't protesting, but still was a little controversial, but it's whatever. Still a good fight. Really good fight in the main card. The main card really lived up to expectations. Prelims, there was some towards the end that were a little bit slower, you know. It started off really good, though. Not much to say here. Charriere does what Charriere does. Knocks out Miranda. Again, his takedown defense, his grappling, looks better and better every fight. Redeems himself after the Shepe loss. Charriere is one of my favorite fighters. I don't care that he has 10 losses. He is... He has 10 losses. But just watch him fight. It's just the eye test. He's good in the grappling. He's good in the striking. He's technical. He's powerful. He has a good chin. He's a good fighter. Proved it here. Versus Mustache Miranda. Ziam steamrolls Matt Frevola. Where do I even begin? Matt Frevola. First round. I get you go for the knockout, right? I get it. But you don't usually knock someone out by swinging big, meaty hooks with your chin up in the air. What the... I have no clue what he was doing, but yeah. I mean, he looked awful. My God. I genuinely am thinking about, like, publicly apologizing to Ziam for picking Frevola. I will never in my life be picking this man again. And then on top of that, let's just say, I'm just going to say how crazy this is, right? You got out-grappled by Ziam. That's his biggest weakness, is his grappling. He out-grappled you, and you're supposed to be a wrestler who trains with Merab, Aljo. And then on top of that, Ziam is supposed to be a striker that has no knockout power, and you got put on a poster by him. Just unbelievable. Shocking knee. Crazy KO. Woke the crowd up. Insane fight. That deserves $50K for Ziam. For Frevola, I don't care. Oh yeah, he went for the knockout. You do not get a bonus. That was a horrible performance. But overall, good fight. Sad fight, but good fight. The battle of the two washed men. Both guys, I'm not gonna lie, didn't really look like UFC level fighters. Cutelaba just had more power, a little bit more technical. Erslan, Cutelaba completely gassed in the third, not surprising. Erslan, he looked, his grappling looked better in the third. I think he blew out his knee in the third, which is pretty unfortunate, but it was a very good first round. After the first, it kind of wasn't really entertaining. A lot of people were like hyping this fight up as like a battle of the glass cannons. And Cutelaba, his new fighting style is just to go to a decision. Have like a little bit of a slower pace fight, not really go for a finish. But yeah, kind of a mid fight. C looked very good. He had a great calf kick, looked good on the feet, good jab, good body kick. His only issue is his grappling wasn't as good as I thought, which is a little bit of an issue. And sometimes he would get a little too excited, and then he would get clipped going for the finish. But that happens. This was like a good learning experience. He went the full 3 rounds, and he tested his stand-up, and his stand-up looked good. Overall, a good fight. This was a fight that went to the scorecards that wasn't entertaining. Klein, massive disappointment. He gets the job done, clearly wins second and third round. He could have won the first. It was like a swing round. But man, Roberts, to be fair, Roberts looked good. Klein has the same issue that Fiziev has, where he's short and small for the division, and he doesn't have a lot of pop. You know, he's fast, he's a good grappler, he's technical, good on the feet, he's good everywhere, well-rounded, but he's just a little too small for the division. And that showed in this fight. Good enough to beat Roberts. A ranked opponent isn't next because he just didn't look that good, but... you know, pretty lackluster fight. Lapilus looked good. He looked good. Great on the feet, like I was expecting. Great takedown defense. Morales, his issue is that he didn't shoot a takedown until the second. So he got like a bunch of damage, got busted up in the first, and then he started shooting takedowns. And as soon as he got him down, he would get up. He just was not the better fighter. Overall, it was a good fight. Lapilus looked good again. But yeah. Perez pulls a Patty Pimlet against Jordan Levitt, against her opponent Darya. Despite missing weight, she gets the first round finish. Honestly, at first her wrestling wasn't looking that good. Darya was pretty much stuffing all the takedowns, but Perez was actually looking good on the feet. Finally gets a takedown, has a good entry, finishes her immediately. Good fight, I guess, while it lasted. Fight of the night, Barez Victor. This was like that one tweet where it's like the flyweights on the early prelims and it shows them going crazy. Victor was skilled. I thought Victor was skilled enough to win, and he was. It's just a power and finishing difference. That was the issue. He lost the first. The second round he was winning until he got dropped. Barez steals the round. In the third round, Victor almost finishes Barez. So even Victor had some pop. Barez a lot better than I thought he was. His cardio was better. Just like Moicano, 35, and he looks like a future champ. Just shocking performance. Both guys look good though. Easy 50k. Even though they give 50k to like the main and co-main event, it's like, my god, dude. The main event does not need 50k. They're already rich. Give it to these guys who are on like 20 to show, 20 to win. I mean, moving on. Cavalcanti, Cornolle. Good WMMA fight. Cavalcanti clearly wins. No clue what the judges were thinking. Cornolle did not win 2 or 3. She could have won the first. Almost gets finished in the second. Cavalcanti looked great. The only issue is her grappling is good, but she needs to get off the fence, which she clearly has issues with. She gets stuck like glue on the fence, and it's for the scoring criteria, it's not that bad because she's not getting damaged against the fence. But it's still not a good look, especially when you're going against French judges, and it almost cost her tonight, but still, she's a good fighter. And for a WMMA fight, it was a good fight. The fight I was least confident in, Oki gets finished by Duncan in the first round via submission, via guillotine. So the fight starts off. They both looked a little sloppy defensively on the feet. Oki was clearly better on the feet though. And his defensive grappling looked good. He actually got out of a guillotine earlier in the fight. But he goes for his own takedown. Stupid. Throws himself into a guillotine. Respect to him for not tabbing and trying to fight out as long as he could. But if his brain could have just stayed conscious for another 2-3 seconds, he would have been fine because he got out of the guillotine, but he was already out. Kind of a weird stoppage, but it made sense. It was a weird moment. Regardless, while it lasted, it was a decent fight. A lot of good fights on the card.